So I am here with my January wrap up, and today is the 29th, but for me, all intents and purposes, the month is over. So, wrap up time. I ended up reading 8 books this month, and I'm very happy with that. A lot of them were actually books in the same series. I guess technically I read 7 books and 1 novella, but whatever. And I just keep track of the books that I read in this little calendar. This is just like a monthly planner thing from the Dollar Tree, and it has like 2 years in it, which is great. And then this is like my posting schedule and stuff. So the first book I read was The Darkest Kiss by Gina Showalter, and since I didn't do a regular wrap up for like October, November, and December, I do want to say, so I've read most of the Lords of the Underworld books previously, like several years ago, and I in January was able to read, what is it called, The Darkest Touch, which was one that I had not read yet, and I got it on Overdrive. And so then it kind of made me want to go back and reread the whole series because I was very confused about some things. So I decided to do that. For the most part, I'm trying to read these in order, but there is one other one I have not read yet, which I still haven't read, that it was on hold for me at the library through Overdrive, and I just got it. So I'm going to read that next when I finish the book I'm currently reading, just so that I don't lose the hold or anything. But for the most part, I'm trying to read them in order. So I actually started the month by reading The Darkest Kiss and The Darkest Pleasure, which I gave 4 stars to both of them, and they're books 2 and 3 in the series. This is a paranormal romance series, like I said, by Gina Showalter, and I actually don't remember a ton about the series, so it's kind of like I'm reading it for the first time. The characters in The Darkest Kiss, Lucian and Anya, are like some of my favorites. I definitely love Anya. I think once I'm done reading the books, or at least all the ones that are out right now, which should be hopefully this month, maybe next month, and then I think another one comes out in the next couple months, I want to do a series review because I'm noticing things that I didn't notice the first time I read these. And I think it's just because I'm a little older and everything. And so I just want to talk about all of that like in a broader way, so I'm just not going to go into too much detail here. And then I read Hard Hitter by Sabrina Bowen, and this is the second book in her Brooklyn Bruisers series, and I gave it 4 stars. The first one is Rookie Move, and this just came out in January. I went and bought it at Barnes & Noble. I had a gift card, which is always nice, since I didn't want to pay $7.99 for an ebook again. I was angry about last time. So this is a contemporary romance about hockey players, and I think I like Rookie Move a little bit better. I do really like the characters in here, Ari and Patrick. I actually really liked Patrick, and thought that he was developed really well and was kind of a different character for a hockey story and everything. And the third book comes out in a few months, I believe, and I really wanted it to be about 2 particular characters. I think everybody wants it to be about those 2 characters, but it's not. It's about 2 other characters, one of whom we may have met briefly, and then the other one who's kind of shown up in these. And I will say, even though I'm mad that those other characters aren't getting a book, especially the heroine for the third one, at the end of this, I'm definitely more interested. Like Sabrina Bowen kind of laid out some like gentle sequel bait, and I'm curious to see what happens with that character. That character has kind of been portrayed as like a bitch throughout the series. She doesn't show up a ton, but when she does, that's how she's portrayed. And you just got like a little glimpse into more about her in this one, and then I think the next book is just gonna like completely go into that. I still want those other characters though to have a story. And then I read a novella. I read The Grift of the Magi by Ellie Carter, and this is a novella that goes along with the High Society series, and it's kind of like a Christmas story, and it comes after all of the High Society books. And I kind of was left a little wanting after the last High Society book, so this helped a little bit with that. especially just getting more of Kat and Hale and seeing them like as a couple and dealing with things, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought the writing was a little jumpy, but I found that in the High Society books as well, so I think it's just the style that Allie Carter chose to write these in. It just doesn't completely work for me. But if you like the High Society books, then I suggest reading this. I would only read it if you've read all of the other ones. And I read 2 more of the Lords of the Underworld's books. I read The Darkest Whisper and The Darkest Passion. So I've been reading these either as ebooks or as library books, and some of them I already had to return, but I have this one to show you. All the covers look like this, where it's like a guy with the butterfly tattoo. The butterfly tattoo is like a thing in here. They continue to get 4 stars for me, I guess, you know? Oh, I lied. The Darkest Pleasure I gave 3 stars. I forgot about that. But all of the other ones have gotten 4 stars from me. Really, my issues with the series is the same in every single book. And in general, I like the characters and I like the world and like the mythology and everything. And then I read Roman Crazy by Alice Clayton and Nina Bocci, I don't know. I got this for Christmas from my sister and brother-in-law, and my Christmas book haul should be up next week. I know it's a little late, but whatever, it's fine. This is a contemporary romance. It's about a woman who finds her husband like having sex with his secretary or administrative assistant, and she decides to leave him and realizes that there was other problems in their relationship, and then goes to Italy to stay with her best friend, and then reunites with somebody that is kind of like the one that got away for her, and he's Italian and, you know, all of that stuff. I gave this 4 stars. I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was a little deeper than like the first Hudson Valley book was. I remember that book being kind of like surface for the characters and that bothering me. And this one did go a little deeper into like Avery, the main character's life. One of my issues is that the book is told in first person, which I typically have a problem with, because I feel like you don't get a full look at what's going on, especially in a romance. But you know, that's what happens when you write in first person. I know a ton of people prefer romances in first person. I am just not one of those people. I don't know. My issues here is I feel like Avery kind of rushes into a relationship after having been married for a long time, and that has just always been a sticking point for me. There's some like gray areas when it comes to cheating in here that I'm not a fan of. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought the authors handled even those gray areas decently well. And there's some fairly decent female friendships in here. It's not like wall banger level of female friendships, but it's definitely there. The last book I read was The Darkest Lie by Janet Showalter, which is the most recent Lords of the Underworld book I have read. I think this is book like 5 or 6 or something. I don't know. I gave this 4 stars. I will say at this point in the series, the stories are starting to get a little more like complex. There's like 4 plot lines basically going on here. So you have your romance and then like 3 other plots. And I'm just not a huge fan of that. J.R. Ward tends to do that, and it frustrates me a little bit. In the beginning of her series, it's like 2 plots, which I'm okay with, but when it gets to do too many, it's a little annoying for me. Usually because I just want to spend time with the characters I want to spend time with. It's one of the reasons I don't read a ton of fantasy, is because I think that's a common thing in fantasy. So if you like that, good for you. It's just not my preferred type of book to read. And it also gets kind of confusing. And sometimes I felt like maybe in here particularly, that maybe the story between the two, like the hero and the heroine, wasn't as strong enough to hold the book, so she felt like she had to put other stuff in here. Those are the 8 books I read, and then I am currently reading another book. But I saw Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which I had wanted to read, and it was in the new releases, so I picked it up. And I'm currently reading it. I just started this morning, and I'm on page like 30, yeah, 35. And it's supposed to be like a prequel to Alice in Wonderland. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far, I guess. Not much has happened. It's pretty brief. And actually last year I reread as an adult for the first time Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. So it's kind of interesting to go into this now because like things are so fresh in my mind that like illusions make more sense to me than maybe they would have otherwise. I am excited. I love Alice in Wonderland. I'm like the one person in the world that loved Once Upon a Time Wonderland. I know, but I liked it. And that's actually not about the Queen of Hearts. It's about Alice and the Red Queen. So those are the books that I read and the book I am currently reading. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of these books, or you just want to tell me what you read, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching. Bye!